Hey guys, I'm bringing another pattern review to you. Actually, this is going to be the review of two patterns. They are current patterns, so you can go get both of them from your local fabric store, pattern supplier, wherever that may be, or you can go on McCall's and get them. So I am going to be using McCall's 7832 pattern, as well as the McCall's 10,050 pattern. Now I know that this one probably has another number attached to it, because sometimes when they do promos for like prom or special events, they will give it another number as well, being this 5-digit number with a letter in front of it. So I will try and find that other number for you and attach it to this video. But these are the two patterns that I am going to be doing. I'm basically going to be Franken patterning them together. If you've never heard of Franken patterning something, it's when you take pieces of one pattern and pieces of another pattern and combine it to make a garment, not like separates, like a top and a bottom. That's not Franken patterning. But I'm going to be using elements from this pattern and elements from this pattern to make one dress. So the elements that I'm taking from this McCall's pattern is going to be the A-view top and sleeves. Although I am kind of on the verge of possibly doing a sleeve from Simplicity for this dress that is basically the same, except it does have an opening around the forearm area. So I'm still deciding what I'm going to do with that. So that's what we're going to take from that. Now there is one other thing I'm going to be doing to the bodice of this pattern, and this is from the Simplicity MP201 pattern. This one was released in 2016. You guys have seen me do this one before. With this particular pattern, if you look at the line art, the back actually has a V-cut to the zipper, and I am going to be incorporating that on this pattern because there's a lot of fabric going to be on this pattern, and I need some way for some air to get in on this pattern because I am going to be lining it in the bodice and partially in the skirt. The sleeves are going to be left unlined. So I am going to actually be Franken patterning 3, possibly 4 if I decide to do the Simplicity sleeve. And if I do, I'll actually show you guys that pattern. But as far as the McCall's 10,050 pattern, I am actually going to be taking the skirt from this pattern. So this one here, if it was lengthened in this view, this D view, that would be nice. But I want the skirt to be really full. And I also bought 7 yards of the fabric that I'm using, so I want to make sure I get rid of as much of the fabric as possible. Because again, this is my de-stash year. Okay, we're not buying fabric to be stashing it. We're trying to get rid of fabric because too much fabric, not enough time. But anyway, we're going to be doing the skirt view. Now, 2 of these have trains on them. We're not going to be doing the train. So I believe it's this one and this one have the train on them. We're not going to do that. We're just going to do these here. If you look at the line art, it shows that it's longer in the back on 2 of the dresses and not on these. So I'm just going to be taking one of these skirts here and doing it. It is a lot of fabric called for to make this dress. We'll look at the simplest one, which is the view B, which has a sweetheart neckline and straps, and the shorter version of the skirt, and it calls for, in 60-inch fabric, which is what I have, size 16, 8 and 3/8 yards of fabric. So it's a lot of fabric involved in this skirt, but that's what I wanted. I wanted it to be very full and flowy, and I want to be able to float across the floor when I'm walking. The great thing is that I like most of my flowy dresses to stop at about my ankles so that you can see my shoes. And I'm short, so I know that typically when I do patterns where they're dresses like gowns, I usually have to shorten it by at least 6 to 8 inches in order to get it above my ankle so that my shoes are visible and that I'm not walking all over the dress. I am making this, I forgot to tell you guys why I'm making this. I'm making this because it's time for my annual trip to Nashville. So I decided that I wanted to do something long and flowy because last year I didn't get to do a dress because what I made, I messed up. I've not even thought about that outfit that I messed up. I ended up wearing something that I had made months before. And it is Sunday. I will be in Nashville on Thursday. And I should have got started on this dress a long time ago. But it was hard to find stuff to match to the fabric that I bought. So, the fabric that I bought was at Walmart. I believe it was $2 a yard. I saw it and I couldn't pass it up. I was on this Walmart fabric spree where I had gone to like all of the Walmarts in the area. Now, I don't shop at Walmart. So, I just so happened upon this because I don't go in Walmart unless like my mom needs something or somebody needs something. I never shop at Walmart. I hate going in there. So the fabric that I found is this semi-sheer fluorescent orange coral chiffon fabric. As you can see through it. You can see back there in my back door. But yeah, this is what I found, and I absolutely love it. I'm so excited to make this dress because, as you can see, it's very drapey, soft fabric. There's 7 yards of it, which means this is going to be a crazy project. I am going to attempt to serge the long seams of this dress, being the skirt and the hem of the skirt, as well as the sides of and the shoulders of the bodice. The sleeves and the neckline I'm probably going to just use on my regular sewing machine. However, I have not used my serger in like 3 or 4 years. So hopefully this goes well.
You are so gonna
in the
fail.
event that the serger works, I do have some fluorescent orange fabric to use on each of the spools. I'm going to be lining this fabric with a yellow lining satin. This I found at Hobby Lobby. I was having a problem trying to find a similar color to line underneath of the dress. I figured that this would give it more shine underneath than trying to do an orange. The orange just didn't work. This color looks really good underneath of the fluorescent without dulling it down any. Because I had tried maybe my skin tone, that didn't work. Black didn't work, white didn't work. This was the best. So I have to go wash this. I thought I had already washed it because I wanted to start cutting out and get the majority of it done tonight so that I could take care of some other stuff throughout the week, like my nails need to be changed and my hair needs to be done, but you guys know how I do. I've got me some buttons for the cuffs, and I have to make my metallic belt because I have like 6 different options of metallic belts that I could have bought, and then I forgot how soon that the assembly was. So I have a mirror duct tape from Hobby Lobby. It was in the clearance section. I am going to be making my belt out of.
You
We're
are
gonna see
so
how this goes,
gonna fail.
because I didn't want to have to buy something and then pay express shipping for it. There was a rose gold belt by ASOS and it was $32. Express shipping was $8. I was not willing to pay $40 for a belt. I just wasn't. And the other places on eBay and MakeMeChic.com, I can't trust that when I order it, it was going to get here on time. So we're going to attempt to make a belt with duct tape. And hopefully it goes well. And then I have some other little trinkets, like I'm the clearance queen. I love clearance stuff because if ain't nobody buying it, that means ain't nobody got it. So I have a lot of rose gold accessories that I'm going to have to add stuff to finish the outfit. I just know I need to get done with this. Also, I have to dye a zipper because they don't make zippers in fluorescent colors. I looked online. The only place that sells fluorescent zippers is like Britain, in the United Kingdom. And I wasn't paying $30 for a zipper. So I bought 2 different zippers. I have a white invisible zipper. And then I also have, let me go grab it. I also have these Sewology zippers from Hobby Lobby. that has a metallic zipper on it, which is really what I wanted. I wanted one with rose gold teeth, but again, they were all over in the United Kingdom and I didn't have time or really wasn't trying to spend the money on it. So I do have a zipper pull that I am going to, if I can get this to dye successfully, fluorescent orange. If I can successfully dye this zipper orange, I'm going to paint the new zipper pull. Although the zipper one looks pretty decent, but it's a round, it's a circular zipper pull. We'll see how this one goes as far as the dye is concerned. Because this one I've had for a while. I bought this one specifically because I really wanted the metallic teeth to show. And if it dyes, I'm going to attempt to paint the teeth rose gold.
You are so gonna fail.
And we'll see how that does. And I don't know about this scallop laser cut stuff. That's kind of... Anyway, that's my Fluo-Orange-Oral dress project. That's it. These are the patterns. This is the fabric. Here is my Fluo-Orange-Oral dress. So this is the finished fluorescent orange-oral dress. You guys, even though I Franken patterned this one, it's definitely one of my favorite dresses ever. It's got all the elements that I need. It's neon, it's flowy, it's long, nobody else has it. It turned out so good. Now, remember I told you guys that I was going to attempt to serge most of the dress. And I can say that I serged about 80% of it. Maybe even 85. I did a bang up job, okay? I cannot believe how good I was at that serger after not touching it for at least 3 years. Yeah, it's been 3 years since I touched that bad boy. The only thing on this dress that was not serged was the darts. The darts here in the bodice in the front. That's the only thing that I did not serge. There were some things that I did have to baste together on my regular sewing machine, and then I went over and serged them so that I can get that overlocked finished edge on it. Because with chiffon, you can do chiffon on a regular sewing machine and finish your edges. You can do it two different ways. You can actually get a foot that has an overlock function on it for your sewing machine. It takes a lot of thread in order to do that. But I have done it before. I actually do have the foot for my sewing machine to do an overlock stitch on there. And it actually does cut off the fabric too. However, I wanted the serger to do it because I know that it would have a more seamless and continuous look if I did it that way. There is a second way that you can finish the edges on chiffon or these lightweight sheer fabrics. You can do a French seam, which is, if you guys don't know, most seamstresses know what a French seam is, but for those of you who are just getting interested in sewing and you stopped by my channel to see what was going on over here, a French seam is when you sew the seam the wrong way and then you go back and sew it the right way over top of it so that the inside of the edge is actually enclosed inside of two seams. Now, if I didn't have a serger, that's probably how I would have done this dress. But because I had a serger, well, I did the dang thing, okay? So the sleeve is actually finished. It is sheer, but it is lined. The bodice is lined. I serged the sleeve onto the bodice. It is a set-in sleeve. There is no puff to it. Y'all saw the dress. I can't believe how awesome it was. The waistline is serged together so the bodice is attached to the skirt by serger. That seam is finished. The entire lining is serged. All of the seams to the skirt are serged. The only thing that really is a serge besides the darts in the bodice is the sleeve openings. And I did opt to use the Simplicity sleeve. I actually went ahead and used the sleeve that went to the McCall's dress. But I actually traced on the opening of the Simplicity pattern as well as the cuff area, because the original McCall's sleeve was a solid sleeve. It didn't have an opening in it, did not have a button. It also didn't have a cuff. It was an elasticized cuff, and I hate those. Like, I cannot explain to y'all how much I hate those encased elastic cuffs. I will do anything to not have to do those. So this is actually hand sewn together on the inside here, slip stitched on the inside. But everything is mostly serged on here. It's probably 85%, maybe 90% serged on this dress. There was 2 different techniques I used. Most of the dress is a 4-thread overlock. I did not have orange thread at the time. I used what I had, which is white, and you can't tell that I use white. I looked when I was doing my first seams on the skirt, because I figured the skirt was so full it wouldn't matter that there was white thread. Well, it didn't matter that there was white thread anywhere on the dress because you can't see it. That's what's so awesome about a serger. The second technique that I use on the dress with the serger is a rolled narrow hem. Now for this one I used neon orange thread, and this is where I ran into trouble. I had no trouble constructing this dress. It was very, very simple. Had I not changed the sleeves over to having this vent with the cuff on them, it would be even more simpler. But the hem, I did not want to have to go in and baste and then press and then sew. I did not want to have to do that. So I opted to do the rolled narrow hem, which was perfect. What wasn't perfect was the rookie mistake that I made using those little spools of Coast and Clark cotton thread. I'm sure that you can use cotton on a serger, but you should use a polyester cone thread, and there's a reason for that. Those threads are made specifically for a serger and an overlock machine, and they flow better through the machine, especially through this fabric. Now, I already had 1 spool of that thread. I went and bought 2 more spools of that thread, and you only need 3 in order to do a rolled narrow hem. But the problem is when I ran out of one of those threads, actually uses more while the serger is sewing. So I ran out of one of those neon threads, and I had to use a bright orange. It wasn't a neon orange that matches this, but I knew exactly where to put it on the machine so that it wouldn't show up. Well, because that one thread was different from the other 2 spools of thread, it threw a monkey wrench into my plans like none other. It took me 2 hours to fix that sewing machine. So what I learned from using the serger 3 years later is, number 1, change your needle, because the last time that you used the needle was 3 years ago on 3 projects. Number 2, use cone thread, or you have to use a high quality thread. Like, you can use the metallic or embroidery threads. Those are high quality. Those do well in your serger. And they actually have a specified net that you put over top of those, very silky threads, to get them to come off of the spool easily and correctly. 3, always use the same type of thread in all 3 spools. You cannot make bad mistakes and expect to have a seamless project. You just can't. So I learned my lesson. But despite the fact that the machine was down for 2 hours before I finally figured out what I had done wrong, operator error completely, I enjoyed using the serger for this. I'm actually online looking for more cone thread at reasonable and ridiculously low prices to use because I want to start incorporating my serger more. One of my viewers, and I forgot who you were, but one of my viewers told me to use my serger regularly because she had put hers away for some time and she could never get the tension right on it again. Luckily, I did not have that issue, but I am going to start using it more often to get the more finished overlock seam on my garments because I'm getting better into finishing and it's taking me longer to finish my garments because I want them to have a more professional finish to them. Why would I not use the sergers that I paid $300+ for? So that is something that I'm definitely going to be incorporating more into my regimen as far as my sewing projects. I don't have the setup correctly for my serger. My sewing machine is actually literally right over here to the right hand or the left hand side of the camera of my phone that's filming this. So it has its own table. My serger does not have a specified table, and I don't have enough room for both machines on that table. Because it's more like a secretary's desk that I bought from the thrift store. So I'm going to have to figure something out because it has been sitting, when I use the serger, it was over here on my dining room table, which that's fine, but it's a pub height dining room table. So it's a little difficult to use because I have to sit in this chair here, which is not meant for sewing, and then put the pedal on a stool. And it kept slipping off of the stool and just, yeah. Anyway, it was an ideal setup. I'm going to figure it out. Back to the dress though. I did not end up making the belt from the duct tape. I was able to go to Hobby Lobby maybe that next day or so and find this iridescent clear trim. They just came out with a whole bunch of new trims that are out of this world. I'm going to assume it's for prom season and wedding season because it was all like rhinestone, diamond, shimmery, glossy stuff. That I bought. I have it all over here, but I'm not showing it to you right now. You know I don't show that stuff to you early. But this is a clear iridescent belt that I was able to put some rose gold grommets in and attach a bracelet to make the belt. So I didn't have to worry about making that duct tape belt because that was a bad idea from the start. Once I started putting that duct tape on top of that vinyl, I was like, this is going to be difficult. And then I just so happened to go back and find that. Also, I did make the necklace from Hobby Lobby. It's basically just a pendant attached to a rose gold chain. They were from two different lines at Hobby Lobby. I absolutely love this geode and druzy. I think that's what it's called. D-R-U-Z-Y. That's the name of that kind of stuff. But it is so pretty. Because as you can see, the theme was neon orange and rose gold. As far as the zipper, I was able to dye the zipper. It did not dye as dark as the dress. It did not dye as dark as the dress, but it still came out a very pretty coral color. I did not paint the metallic zipper like I said I would. Honestly, guys, only a seamstress would pay attention to these details and be like, well, you're wearing a lot of rose gold for that zipper to be silver, but everybody else, they just think the dress is so awesome because of how flowy it was and how long it was and how bright it was. So yeah, ain't nobody painting this metallic zipper. Also, fun fact about the zipper. I did not realize that it was a separating zipper. That kind of made for strange fitting. It did. And the zipper tape is actually so thick that I could not whip stitch around the bottom of the separating zipper part so that I could keep them from separating. So when I take the dress on and off, I just don't unzip it all the way down. Otherwise, it's hard trying to do a separating zipper in a non-separating dress. But the original dress called for like a 20 or 22 inch zipper. This is a 14-inch zipper, and it actually is more than long enough for this dress. I did cut it into the V shape here in the back. This is probably about the only area that I messed up on with the serger. I should have gone ahead and done this part right here on the sewing machine before I serged the corners of my V off because they're buckling a little bit, but never know mine. I ain't looking at it. But I was able to even, I think I said that I was not going to serge the sleeves or the neckline. I did both those. I did both of those. I was pretty courageous on this this particular project. Also, I did not change out the zipper pull because I could not figure out how to. I couldn't. So I just left it alone as it was. I absolutely love the way that this turns out. This dress is not fully lined all the way down, but the lining does come down past my knee. I love the color that I use underneath of it. The yellow was a very good idea for this neon color. It just makes it stand out a little bit more coral than it would. I'm very, very pleased with the way that it turned out. I'm trying to think of anything else I can say because I went back and watched the beginning of this video to make sure I hit all the points. I do still have some of this orange fabric left over. So I'm going to be making an Oxford with some of it. And I'm pretty excited about that. It's going to be a white and coral Oxford. So I'm excited. It's going to be a bird pattern. Yeah. So we used 4 different patterns to create this dress. It turned out awesome. I don't know what else to say. I absolutely love the way that this dress turned out. I didn't tell you guys that I actually had a picture of what I wanted this dress to look like. I found it on Instagram. That's what I wanted the dress to look like, and this is as close as I can get. And I really, really like the way that it turned out. I probably will be attempting to do this again at some point. I know that I've said before, especially last year when I did the chiffon for one of my convention outfits, that I was kind of scared with chiffon. Because, you know, it's a shifty fabric. It's lightweight fabric. Once you mess it up, you mess it up. But with my serger, I think that I'm going to get more and more into using chiffons because you guys know I like flowy and I tend to make things in heavier fabrics because that's what's available, and they're cotton. Usually cotton is heavy. So now that I'm getting into using more chiffons and I'm not as afraid to mess it up, especially now that I know the serger is going to help me out with finishing those seams and giving it a more professional look, I am definitely going to be into chiffons more and more. This dress was too warm for Nashville, but I wore it anyway, and I was cute. My hair puffed up because it's humid in Nashville. But either way, the dress turned out exactly like I wanted it to. I'm very, very happy. I've gotten this year, started off with my sewing projects pretty good. I don't think I've done anything that I absolutely hated so far yet. I have been making and cutting out lots of stuff. I just haven't done any editing of videos because my time is consumed with more important things. So I hope you guys don't think I've abandoned you because I haven't. But I do take long winter breaks away from social media. That's just me. I don't need to be in the social eye a lot because I'm not interested in it. Like, I'm really not on Instagram and definitely not on Facebook anymore. So don't think that I haven't forgot about you guys. I haven't gone anywhere. I'm just busy with things that are actually important. But I have been sewing. You will see more videos, and convention season is coming up. This is April, so we have May and June. June is when I go to the convention. You will see videos for that very, very soon. So I hope that you enjoyed my Franken patterned Fluo-Orange-Oral dress. I hope this will inspire you to not settle for one pattern if it doesn't meet your needs. Blend it with another pattern. Yes, it will take a little bit of planning and work, but you can do it. Also, if you're afraid of a serger, there's no need to be. It will make your life easier. You just have to follow the simple rules. You just have to follow the simple rules. Get you a serger book. Watch some serger YouTube videos on here. People will help you with that. And like I always say, the number one issue that a seamstress has is not changing her needle often enough. It's so easy. It's literally one of the cheapest things that you can do to make your life easier. All you gotta do is just change that needle. When you start having issues, change your needle. Okay, guys. Well, I do believe that's all. I will see you for the next project.